Good morning, everyone. It is Monday morning, and so here we are back on our mat. Thank you guys so much for joining me and for watching these videos. It really means a lot, and I hope that you are benefiting from it. So today we are going to do just a full body wake up. So this can be something that you can do in the morning. It can be something, midday, you're feeling kind of stiff and you just feel like you need to awaken your body again. In the evening, you've had a hard day. This is also a practice you could do then. So we're just going to do a little bit of just opening up the body. It's going to be all on the floor. Blocks, if you want them, we'll use those for supported fish at the end, but you don't have to. You can also use just a blanket or something to lift the chest and to kind of relax the upper body. So let's go ahead and get started. Find a comfortable seat. We always like to start with breath work. It just brings us into our bodies. It kind of lets us let go of everything that's happening outside of our practice. And it's just a good tool to learn to transition in and out, or mostly into that deep, calming breath work. So find a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you. You can close your eyes or gaze softly toward the floor. Allow the back of the neck to be long, shoulders soft away from the ears. And just take a breath in, exhale it out, and just sink into your body. Notice how you're feeling today, right at this moment. Notice both your physical body and your mental space. Just allowing yourself to scan through the body, taking in any information that you're noticing. There's no right or wrong. It's just an opportunity for us to tap in and to notice what's going on in our bodies. So feeling through the shoulders, noticing if they feel even, if they feel soft, if they feel like they're hugging toward your ears. Just notice. You don't have to change anything, but just become aware and observe the physical body. Feeling the length of your spine and your hips and knees, ankles, feet, shoulders and arms, all the way down to the wrist and the hands. And then notice your breath. How does the breath feel? If it's first thing in the morning, maybe it's still pretty shallow. Maybe if you've had a stressful day, it feels kind of short and restricted. Just noticing how your body is breathing. And as we move through the practice today, really trying to find some length in the breath, breathing into the body as we open up. Imagine that you could send breath into those places we're stretching. We'll take one more breath. And exhale, release. Good. We're going to start by just taking the arms behind the body, interlace the fingers, and just squeeze the elbows. So by that, I mean, a lot of times we kind of try to pull our body away, but sometimes first thing in the morning, we just need to interlace the fingers and just pull elbows together. It's a really gentle way for us to start to get into just stretching that shoulder. You can always take it deeper, but just squeeze the elbows, bring your belly in just a little bit so that you're not overarching that low back. Deep breath. Then what I want you to do is I want you to take your interlaced fingers and bring them both to the left side of your body. So it's kind of pulling that right arm behind. And we're just going to kind of interlace the fingers as close to that left side of the body as you can. And then drop your chin down to your chest. Thinking about this right shoulder, it's still thinking about moving away from the ear, so softening down. Just getting a nice deep stretch to the back of the neck. And this left elbow is just hugging back just a little bit, just to give it a little bit extra oomph. And then inhale back up, and then just take your left ear toward your left shoulder. So again, we're opening up this side neck, still dropping the right shoulder and shoulder blade down. So think about two parts moving away from each other. And then go ahead and release. Take your hands, slide them over to the right as far as you can, or wrapping around the body. Bring that right elbow kind of sinking back toward the other, and drop chin to chest. Stretching out the back of the neck into that shoulder. This gets into the levator scapula, which is one of those muscles that really hikes our shoulder up toward our ears. So dropping your shoulder down and then hinging the head forward, chin to chest, just stretches that muscle. And then inhale back up and take your right ear toward your right shoulder. And I'm not worried about how close to the shoulder it is. It's just tilting your head in that direction. Again, just trying to open up this side neck, keeping that shoulder moving down intentionally. And then go ahead and release the arms. Come into a child's pose. So knees are wide, big toes together, or knees can stay closer together if you choose. I just prefer mine wide. Take your arms out nice and long. Forehead comes to the ground if it can. If not, maybe you can grab a prop to put under it. Keep the arms long. Instead of allowing the elbows to touch the earth, try to keep the elbows lifted. It's going to give us a nice deep stretch through the shoulders. You can stay here, or you can go ahead and dome for a little extra stretch. Coming up to the fingertips. And we're just breathing deeply into those shoulders. Allowing the breath to really fill the lungs so that you can fill the back side of the body, up into the armpits and shoulders. Take one more breath here. And then go ahead and plant the hands. Press up into tabletop position. So for tabletop position, we want to try and stack shoulder, elbow, and wrist, but you are welcome to take your hands a little bit further out if you have are feeling a lot of tension in the wrist. So from here, we're going to thread the needle. So we're going to shift the weight into our left hand. Right palm faces the belly. Right arm goes under left, and you're going to drop that right shoulder and side of the head to the ground. This left hip is going to pull back just an inch or so to keep the pelvis even, and you're going to breathe deeply into that right shoulder. So taking a deep breath. Maybe a couple of breaths. We're just stretching, a gentle rotation through the body. And then inhale to come back up to neutral. We're going to plant the right hand. Left palm faces the belly. Left arm goes under right, dropping the left shoulder and side of the head to the ground. My ear is off the ground, so I don't want to compromise my neck. I want to have a nice neutral neck. Still reaching with that left hand. So I'm breathing deeply into the left shoulder. The right hip pulls back just a little bit because it wants to kind of hug up toward the shoulder. And then inhale to come back up. We're going to come to a seated position. We're just going to bring bottoms of the feet together. It doesn't matter how close to the body it is, whatever feels comfortable for you. I want you to just kind of hinge forward. So I'm holding on to my toes. I'm interlacing my fingers. You can do 2 fingers and thumb around the big toe or hold on to the ankles. I just happen to like wrapping around my toes. And then just hinging forward, getting a little stretch, maybe through the low back, inner thigh. Just taking a couple of breaths here. Just letting those legs soften. You hinge forward, and I'm not pulling super deep. This is a really gentle stretch. We're just carefully opening up the body, intentionally breathing in some space. Okay, we'll go ahead and release that. I'm gonna take my left leg, take your left leg long and bring that right foot a little closer into the body. So I've opened it up. I'm still facing forward, but I've opened up that left leg. And then I'm gonna rotate so that I'm looking toward the left leg, and I'm gonna start to hinge down that way. You can grab onto the foot if you want. This is just a gentle hamstring. You can put a blanket underneath the knee if you need a little more support. And if you don't go all the way to the foot, that's just fine. Flex the foot and just hinge in that direction. So coming from the hips, hinging forward, trying to get a stretch in the back of that leg. Good. And then we're going to come up, and then we're going to rotate our body a little bit so that my left shoulder is in line with that left leg. And I'm going to take a little side stretch. So I'm taking that right arm up and over. So now I'm focusing my intention through the side body and into that low back on the right side. Again, I don't have to be super low. It's just the intention of finding space and length. This is really great for the QL, which is one of our hip hiker muscles. That's one of the muscles that kind of hitches the hip up. Ooh, that's a mouthful. So breathing into that side body. Find a nice deep breath, breathing into those ribs. If this is too much on your shoulder, you can drop the shoulder down. You'll still get the same stretch through that low back and side body. And go ahead and come up. We're going to come back to bottoms of the feet together, Baddha Konasana. Sitting up tall, again, just hinging forward. Taking a few breaths, softening the shoulders. You can kind of move your head around or drop chin to chest if you need a little more. Let it sway from right to left if you need a little more. And then go ahead and release. This time the right leg comes out, left foot tucks in a little bit. And I'm going to rotate toward my right leg and then just start to lower down till I get a nice stretch in the back of the leg. So my right hand is going toward that right foot. My left arm is just there for a little bit of keeping the rotation toward that leg. And I'm just breathing into that space. And we'll take one more breath here. And then we're going to come up, and then I'm going to rotate so that my right shoulder is in line with that. My forearm's going to maybe come down to my shin, and then the left arm comes up and over. So I'm trying to open up that side body. I'm still staying heavy in both hips. You can gaze under that shoulder for a little deeper stretch, or just allow the head to be soft. You can look down, you can look straight, whatever feels good in your neck. So right now we're focusing from that hip up the side body. And then go ahead and release. So now we're going to take this right leg. I'm going to slide my left under and cross my right leg over for a twist. If it doesn't cross all the way over, it just comes in front. Not a problem. And then I'm going to twist to the right. Gentle rotation through the body. So you need to sit up nice and tall. Again, I'm not pulling. I'm not trying to get to my deepest stretch. I'm just giving some rotation to my spine. We're just opening up, finding a little freedom in our bodies. And go ahead and release. And we're just going to switch. So right leg comes under, left leg crosses over, or is just in front, either way. And then twisting to the left. So my right hand wraps around, my left hand comes behind for a little bit of support. Sitting up nice and tall, gazing over the left shoulder. Be kind to your body. So really it shouldn't be a super intense end range stretch. Again, we're just creating this sequence to maybe use first thing in the morning or at the end of the day or midday when you're feeling a little bit stiff. We're just trying to find a little freedom. And then go ahead and unwind. Unwind the legs, come all the way to your back. Sliding all the way down. And take your feet about as wide as a mat and just take some windshield wipers. So another rotation. This one's nice and gentle. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love this one. If you have low back discomfort or pain in the morning, doing this in bed is a great way to gently warm up the low back before you get up. You can do this right in bed. You wake up, you go to your back, and just allow the legs to go from side to side. Just an internal and external rotation for the hips, for the thigh bone at the hips. It just slowly opens up that low back. It's really, really nice. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take the left leg long and just hug that right knee into your chest. Maybe you straighten and flex that left leg so that the toes are drawing back and the heel is reaching toward the wall. So here's if I don't do anything. But if I engage that foot, what I'm doing is I'm opening up by a push-pull sensation. So it's moving in two directions, which happens a lot in yoga. We're rooting to rise. And so I'm just opening up the psoas muscles and kind of deep into the hips. Straight leg is reaching toward the wall. I'm going to hug this right knee in, maybe hug it wide. If you need a little bit more, you can reach around for half happy baby. This is completely optional, only if you need something a little bit deeper. Otherwise, just hug the knee into the chest. And then we'll go ahead and release. Take the right leg long. Maybe a full body stretch would feel good. And then we'll hug that left knee into the chest. And I'm straightening and engaging the thigh on this right leg. Maybe you hug the knee wide. Taking a few breaths. Maybe you go to half happy baby, reaching around for the foot. You can also use a strap if you want, but the idea was just to have a nice, easy practice. Not a lot of props, just a gentle stretch. So you can just hug knee to chest. You don't have to go into happy baby. And then go ahead and release. Another full body stretch. Good. Give a little wiggle. Maybe both knees come in this time. Rocking from side to side. Good. And then rolling to one side, pressing up. This is the optional piece if you have blocks, or you can use a couple of pillows to do supported fish. So we'll do one more, just gentle chest opener. So if you're using the block comes right behind the middle of the chest. Second block comes behind the head. So you can kind of see it comes up to about my armpit. And then arms out to the side, palms facing up. Legs can be bent. Maybe your feet are wide and the knees fall together, or you can take them long, whatever feels better in your body. And just take a few breaths. The arms can be close to the hips, or maybe they come out a little bit further for a little deeper stretch through those shoulders. It's entirely up to you. There's no right or wrong in this one. Just taking a couple of deep breaths. So we're really opening up that front side of the body. Again, when we sleep, we're all curled in. When we're typing and at computers, those shoulders roll in and our shoulder blades come out wide. So this gives those muscles in the back side of the body a chance to soften and relax. And then this also opens up those chest muscles, the front side of the body. So taking a few breaths here. And if you don't have blocks, what you'll do is take a blanket or some pillows and just place it underneath where the chest is. Think about a long rectangle, so no wider than a couple of inches, kind of like a block, going perpendicular to your spine, and you'll just lay over that with your head on the floor. Just something to open up from the ribs to the clavicles to your collarbone. So this space is what's being opened. Just take one more breath. Good. And then we'll slowly come up. Come off your preps. So that is just a really gentle, full body awakening, kind of giving yourself some space as you start the day, or like I said, midday or at the end of the day, just to get the body to open up and find some space. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It's always a pleasure. If there's anything that you would like to see or have any questions, drop it in the comments. I would love to hear from you. You can also message me, and I will see you all next week. Namaste.